Hey, what's up? I'm Pabi Muloi. You're watching Joburg Today.
The Group Forensic Investigation Department recently achieved a major breakthrough in the city's attempts to restore hijacked buildings to rightful owners. In total, 12 properties have been returned to their rightful owners. The Forensic Department, together with the South African Police Services, pressed charges against a Jonathan Constable, who is believed to be a hijacking kingpin. He has recently, together with his cronies, appeared before the Johannesburg Magistrates Court. We were there for the bail hearing. In studio, I chatted to Advocate Victoria Ramala of the Group Forensic Department about their efforts to date. She also had some very valuable advice to offer to property owners.
After a 3-day bail application hearing at the Johannesburg Central Magistrates Court, alleged hijacked building kingpin Jonathan Constable and Bongani Khathide were denied bail.
Although the applicants at this stage may only be charged for the 2 properties belonging to Ms. Grace, it is not necessarily so that the state cannot at a later stage add further charges, which might even include intimidation. But be that as it may, even if no further charges are added, the court may, for purposes of the bail application, take into account the conduct of the applicants regarding the other 8 properties, which they are not presently being charged with. It appears to me that if the applicants are to be released on bail, that there is a real risk that they may continue with this type of behavior.
The third co-accused, Kingsley was still to make argument for his bail application at the time of this pronouncement.
They don't have any case. Firstly, they don't even know what they're charging their clients with. There's no case or charge of building hijacking. Now they say it's fraud, but this charge that they're facing before the court doesn't meet the elements of the crime of fraud. So under normal circumstances, they have so far failed to prove that indeed so these accused have committed this crime. So the state will have difficulty in proving that they've committed this crime. Once investigations are finalized, we're going to do representations, which is a request to the National Director of Public Prosecution to request that they withdraw the charges against the accused because there's no case against them at all.
It's actually mixed emotions. Firstly, I think I'm pleased that I've given this particular case my full attention because it does deserve. Because ever since I took over as an executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg, I raised the issue about the breakdown of the rule of law in the city. And I'm really quite pleased that the court has allowed the media to be part of the proceedings so that civil society, our entire residents, can actually see how rotten our country is. And I think, I hope this will really be a wake-up call for all of us as South Africans. Are we going to let our country's legal system collapse or not?
It is the dream and the goal of the city to make sure that people live within the inner city, closer to their places of work, because transport is expensive. People travel long distances to get to the places of work. So if the city is able to take back buildings which have been illegally and rightly, hijacked by building hijackers, then the city will be winning in giving people, low-cost affordable housing.
Whilst Jonathan Constable's provisional charge is that of fraud, the National Prosecuting Authority still has the option to add more charges to his charge sheet. The hijacked building court case against Jonathan Constable has been moved to the 24th. However, he will be appearing on the 19th on separate charges of attempted murder. I'm Lirvi Haji for Joburg Today.
Advocate Victoria Ramala, welcome to Joburg Today. We've been hearing so much recently about raids being conducted on hijacked buildings in the city. We understand you are playing a very important role. So far, 10 properties have been returned to their rightful owners. Is that correct?
Even more, actually. I think 12 to date, properties that have been handed over to their rightful owners. And I think it's important for me to indicate that the process of them being handed over was not necessarily or only out of the raids that were conducted. Some were due to the complaints that we received at our offices, and we did the necessary investigations. We are working closely with the South African Police Services and through the councillors, where we sensitize the communities on the modus operandi of the hijackings. There are those that which the owner would be forcefully be removed from his property by the criminals and forcefully take over and take control of the property. That's that kind. And then there's another modus whereby you would find that the syndicates working closely with some individuals either from deeds or even from the city, you know, whatever the case may be, even the attorneys, conveyances. Target properties that are of deceased people. Somehow they would have information either from the master. That's what I'm saying, it's a syndicate. You know, to say this property has been standing there for over 30 years, and our record shows that the owner was born in 1902, and it never changed hands. You understand? And it becomes prone to individuals or to criminals trying to take advantage of that situation to say, then what we can do is then present some documents to say that we have bought the property from Mr. X. And in most instances, we have found that those kind of transfers, when you go to deeds to investigate the transfer of that property, in most instances, you'd find that there are no records.
What role did the owners play in this?
Crime, it's not always doing something wrong. It's also an omission to do something that is right. In instances where you find yourself, and please don't get me wrong, if you find yourself that you had a property, you are unable to pay your bond, what would be the best possible way for one to do to make sure that they do not find themselves in a situation whereby they lose their property? You know, whether
Sell
you
the
sell
property
it
and hand over ownership to the new owner.
Simple as that. But you want to hold on to something that you know very well, that for you to continue staying in that property, you had to pay the bond. And now that you're not paying the bond, obviously in one way you need to come out. But then instead of actually, you know, doing the right thing, you resort, you know, to that kind of a behavior whereby you feel that you are entitled.